What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Cody Crafted. Today, just a quick walk around on something because we don't always do full overland builds and race car stuff and the crazy. Sometimes you've just got a cool car and you want to keep it rolling and keep it on the road and do a few little tweaks to keep it right. That is what we did here on this 1973 Ford Bronco. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Let's go build something cool. Starting things off. Hood latch gets caught. All right, so originally the problem was this guy wasn't starting. As you can tell, it's a 5-liter out of like a Fox body Mustang. What had actually happened was the alternator had gone out and the customer had low charging, and because the battery wasn't staying topped up, he kept having to jump it off, so he melted down the starter solenoid. So first thing we did was put an alternator starter solenoid on it. The battery's pretty recent, so we were able to use that. Cleaned up a little bit of the wiring, re-terminated a few things for the starter solenoid, put a fresh set of spark plugs in it, drained the coolant, swapped out the drive belt, and added a coolant reservoir overflow bottle. While we were at it, we noticed there was a few leaks. So new oil pan gasket, new rear main seal, new front seal on the transmission. Pull the transmission, pull the transfer case. Our steering box was hemorrhaging on the floor. Couple of new tie rods, fresh oil change of course, new steering shaft from Borgeson to go along with that Borgeson steering box. Because this is a special application, as you can tell, we had to get a little bit creative with our hose and fitting arrangement. This is the Borgeson steering box for this application, but not for this motor. So we kind of had to play with that, but it's working just fine. Fresh set of 31 1050 BFG all-terrains. Pulled the hubs down, cleaned those out, put a fresh set of brake pads on, cleaned up all the brake hardware, and flushed the fluid. This thing already had Wild Horse's front coils to lift it up a little bit and give it some attitude, but the shocks were some 25-year-old Ranchos and they were completely gone. So a fresh set of Bilstein 5100s front and rear. Driver's door did not want to open from the outside, so we opened up the door panel and fixed the little clippies on the rods. Also, the window was off track, so we got that fixed. Had an old 90s Grant steering wheel, so now we have a nice, beautiful Grant Signature Series. Threw us for a little bit of a loop, going for the billet adapter and whatnot, and making the horn work, because this is actually the column out of a Chevy C10, which apparently back in the day was a common swap in order to get tilt. Transfer case linkage was all gummed up and the bushings were bad, so new bushings, new transfer case linkage. This is a new product that we actually whipped up. It's kind of tough to tell from here, but this is a seat relocation bracket. These Broncos are notorious for not having any leg room or any chest to steering wheel space. So this is adjustable at 1.5 inches, 1 1/4, and 3.5 inches. We are going to have those available if you decide you need one. Moving on back, already had a retro sound radio in it, but the one speaker in the dash was bunk, and so back here in the back we needed to add a little more in the tunes department. We got some Sterwin Vega wakeboard speakers, kind of chilling. We went with the white to go with the white interior. They actually have LEDs that act as a dome light, so when you turn the dome light switch on, The LEDs in them light up. We left off the bouncy RGB feature because we ain't about that life. Underneath, fresh set of Wild Horses 2.5-inch lift leafs with 11 leaf pack for optimal ride quality. Of course, all new hardware, new shackles, new bushings, and those Bilstein 5100s. The factory Ford 9 in the rear and in the Dana 44 in the front both received a reseal and fresh fluid. We also pulled down the Dana 20 transfer case and resealed and lubricated it. Ran into an issue with the shifter linkage. The transmission in this is not a C4, but an AOD out of an 80s four-wheel drive F-150. And so the TV linkage and the throttle linkage on it are, excuse me, not throttle linkage, but the shifter linkage on it are somewhat unique. And of course, the shifter linkage coming out of the side of the transmission decided to fail. It cracked while we were trying to take it apart and to change the seal. And Locar makes one, but they don't make one for this exact part number, which is like the rarest of all rare, and the only ones we could find were like $350 on eBay. So 80 bucks to Locar and a little time with the TIG welder, we got the shifter linkage working better than it did before. We got tunes, we got no leaks, we got a charging system. We got just a really cool rig that needed a little bit of TLC, didn't have to do a full resto on it, everything's good to go. And she lights off like a Christmas tree. If there's anything we can do for you, if you've got your Saturday night special going to Sonic Chevelle, it just needs a little valve cover gasket and charging system upgrade or some disc brake conversions, just give us a call. We're happy to do it. We do that too. We also do the Lexus, we do the Land Rovers, and we make it bump. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.